Hello, everyone. We're back here with another episode of the Student World Spotlight. Today, we put it on the spotlight Concordia University in Canada. We're very excited because, guys, this is going to be the last episode of this first season. It has been an amazing season with over 10 or 12 episodes, I think. We have put it over the spotlight, many great universities, and we're very happy that we were able to invite this one from today to, close in the best way possible this season number 1 of the Student World Spotlight. So very excited to see who's joining us here today. We sometimes have some regulars joining us, which is always exciting. So looking forward to see already like 20 people and more joining us here. So don't forget to put it here on the chat where you're watching us from, and just say hello, hi, or anything you want, basically. We love to talk to you. This engagement is the reason why we're here doing this live. And so for the next 1 hour, approximately, I'm going to be your voice. So make sure that you send all your questions here on the chat, and I'll be able to, and I will address them to our lovely guests. All right. So cool. So I see here already Cesar Christian joining us from Brazil, Pietro from Brazil as well, Gabi from Paraguay, Stacy from Guatemala, Stefan from Nigeria, Lagos. Hey there, mate. Marifer from Mexico. Lovely to see everyone joining. Oh, crew, Cheryl from Jamaica. Nice, guys. Romania as well here. Kenya. What else? Analu from Brazil. Hello, Analu. Yeah, guys, very excited to have you here. Don't forget to also, before you leave, like this video if you like what you watch, if we were able to help you. So give us a like and subscribe to our channel as well. So as soon as we're back with season 2, you won't miss any of these lives, right? Again, the idea is of these lives is to present you different universities. Today, as I mentioned, we will be putting on the spotlight and introducing to you Concordia University. And if you don't know, Concordia University is located in Montreal, in the very heart of the Francophone side of Canada. But Concordia University is an English language university. So if you don't speak French, don't worry about that. But one of the cool things about studying Concordia is that because you can study in English and you can live in Montreal and learn French as a third language. So this is something that is very interesting. I've myself been to Montreal already, love the city. It has been elected, I think, or ranked the second happiest city in the world already. And it's constantly, or not recently, better say, been ranked the best student city in the world. That is right. So you can imagine like competing with cities like Vancouver in Canada, or Melbourne, or London, or many other cities across the world. Montreal beat all of them and became the #1 city for students. So so it's a big deal. Concordia University, we're really happy to have them here. And as I always do, guys, by the way, just a quick reminder. Today, the focus of this is graduate programs, master level programs, all right? So we won't be talking about undergraduate programs or language programs or or any other type. So we're going to be focused on graduate level programs. All right. And that they have over 195 according to our research. So they have tons of options there. We're going to explore those options. We're going to talk about their campus. We're going to talk about application. We're going to talk about their fees. We're going to talk about scholarships. We're going to talk about a bunch of things. We're going to try to tell you everything about this amazing university so you can either swipe right or swipe left. It'll be your choice. All right, folks. All right, then. So, yeah. So, also, another quick reminder. If you're not following the Student World yet on Instagram, join our community there. We're very active. We're constantly posting. Here it is on the chat again, the Student World on Instagram. And yes. All right, then. And as we welcome already over 63 people joining us here today. Who else is joining us here? Vivian, Soham from India, Vivian from Nigeria, Kampairi from Rwanda, Noise, Pakistan here, Kenya, Nigeria, India, Brazil. So many countries. Love that. All right, then. So why don't we start by taking a look of what the campus of Concordia looks like through this short video we have prepared for you.
Concordia, a unique academic community in a vibrant and diverse city. A next-generation university fueled by creativity and discovery, where collaboration and interdisciplinary approaches are at the center of innovative research. We at Concordia are making pivotal contributions to the societies of today and tomorrow. Be a part of the future. Be a part of Concordia.
Hopefully many of you will pretty soon. But now, guys, let's invite our lovely guests here to the stage so they can talk to us a little bit about this amazing university. So please welcome Lorena, Chris, and Ayana. Hello, everyone. Oh, Ayana, I see that you now have finally the background set. For those of you that are watching us, she was trying to handle that. So yeah, great job. But yeah, lovely to have you guys here. How are you, Lorena?
Doing super well. Thank you for having us. We're
It's
very excited.
Lovely to have you here. Chris, how are you, mate?
I'm good. I am excited about all these people from all over the world. Excited to tell them about our university and our programs, and and thank you very much for this opportunity.
It's our pleasure. Yeah, have you seen how many countries we have here? People from absolutely all over the world. This makes us super happy. Ayana, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for having us, and bienvenue tout le monde.
Hey, yay. Okay, guys. So, Lorena, the first question I want to make as a welcome question here is what do you mean by next generation university, and who is University of Concordia?
Well, Concordia University has lots to offer. I'll talk about our graduate programs today. So we have just over 130. I know you mentioned 195, but it's actually just over 130 graduate programs. We have 4 types of degrees, so we across 4 different faculties, including an interdisciplinary program, which is housed at the School of Graduate Studies. So I wanted to kind of highlight the individualized program because INDI is a unique program that supports research initiatives that fall outside of the normal disciplinary boundaries of research and creation. And we offer it both at the master's and doctoral levels. INDI students can develop research that wouldn't otherwise be available through existing graduate programs.
All right, cool. And okay, then. So yeah, so basically, guys, just so for you, those of you that are watching us, we're gonna start talking a little bit about the university itself. Will be the first topic. So I'm gonna ask Lorena here and Chris and Ayana about the programs they offer. As Lorena correctly said here, over 130 graduate programs. So guys, Lorena, so with so many different programs here, and I'm sure that our audience here, we have already over 62 people joining us. Many of them like are looking for completely different programs. By the way, this is a good thing, guys. Can you put here the program or field that you're interested in? And even better than that, already send us questions about the particular programs that you are, just like Alfred did here. Thanks, Alfred, for saying PhD in educational administration. So you can go ahead and put the program that you're interested in. We're going to be able to explore all of them in this first part of the live, all right? And then we're going to move on to the following topics. So, Lorena, here I want to ask you, because with over 130 programs, what can you highlight? Is there any particular field or area that Concordia University is really strong at?
Well, we're an interdisciplinary institution, so students could basically do whatever their heart desires at Concordia. We offer four different faculties, programs in four different faculties. Some are cross-disciplinary, including the humanities and individualized program. We also have programs in the John Molson School of Business, in the Faculty of Arts and Science, the Gina Cody School of Engineering and Computer Science, and we also offer programs through the fine arts.
Cool. And the one because every time we're gonna run a live, I do a little bit of research. Obviously, very little. But one thing that I found out is that you guys are really strong at research in general, right? And I saw something I even wrote down here that I found very interesting, and I wanted you to kind of talk a little bit about that, which is that the university actually encourages both avenues in terms of research, right? Especially to motivate students to tackle the nowadays problems and issues that our society is going through. I was just wondering, if you could explain a little bit, because many of the graduate level students, for them, research is an important part of the whole program, and so can you tell us a little bit about this this strength that the university has in this area?
Did you want to start, Chris, or?
Sure, I can start if you want. So hi, I work at the John Molson School of Business, which is the best faculty at Concordia. No, I'm kidding. But so I work in graduate programs at the John Molson School of Business. And actually, I do specialize in terms of, I'm a recruitment and marketing associate. And so I advise a lot of students on our programs, making sure, especially at the graduate level, you want to have an idea of why you're doing graduate school. I think undergraduate is a little bit more exploratory. But so we work for, do graduate business programs. And I, in fact, work with the research-based ones. So we have an MSc, so a Master of Science in Finance, Marketing, Management, a Master of Supply Chain Management. And these are all basically, the first half of the program is course-based, and the second half is thesis-based. So they're very data-driven. They're all about specialization, right? They're not, compared to an MBA, which is a bit more of a generalist degree, these research-based degrees are quite specialized. And actually next year, we're proud to be launching the MSc in Business Analytics and Technology Management. So that's going to be another addition, a fifth program to our research-based master's programs. We also have the PhD, of course. But I think research is really important, as you mentioned, Carlos. Nowadays, in a post-pandemic or a current pandemic world, in terms of business, research is really important. Research is really important in terms of addressing the current issues that companies are facing. If you think of MSc management students who might be researching organizational behavior or managing people, managing remote working, all these questions that researchers can delve into and answer. And so I think it's very important. And also, I think another important thing that I always say about research-based programs is a lot of people think a thesis can be quite niche and quite, again, specialized. However, the skills that you acquire in a research-based program are applicable everywhere. It's basically a research project. So you can apply that to a consulting job where you need to find the data, write up your report, present your findings, and propose your recommendations. So research is really important, and we're proud to offer all these research programs, at least from the John Molson School of Business and IANA, I'm sure with the Faculty of Arts and Science as well.
Awesome. Yeah. So, yeah, Ayana, can you add a little bit coming back because you're representing here a different faculty? What can you add in terms of like the importance of research and for students at Concordia?
I almost find that I need to start with saying Chris is wrong. The Faculty of Arts and Science, in my opinion, is the best faculty. We have three main streams, the humanities, the social sciences, and the sciences. So really, I'd say, wow, the diversity is extreme with the type of research, but research is really great because it brings really strong active minds. It brings people who want to find solutions and who are interested in exploring ideas to a deeper to a deeper level. And like Chris said, at the undergraduate level, it is very different than the grad level. So at the grad level at Concordia, especially in the Faculty of Arts and Science, since it is so diverse, I mentioned that we have three streams, it's wildly different. I mean, we have research going on about how to document, like in our journalism department, how to document and share stories on Indigenous leadership and climate action. But we also have research going on about class and video games, on the blockbuster economy. We have research in our health kinesiology and applied physiology all about pain in athletes and the physiological mechanisms of pain in athletes to see why it may be different than non-athletes. We also have studies on obesity, the public response to COVID-19. We do have at Concordia a research chair in climate science and sustainability, and obviously him and his team, his students, are doing research that focuses on climate change mitigation and resilience. In fact, we even have a leadership in environmental and digital innovation for sustainability project that's going on. I have so many ideas to tell you that I'm like running out of words. I'm sorry about that. We have research going on about urban sprawl. We have research going on also in fields in like humanities where people are looking at the politics of memory and the memories of everyday life. So really it does span kind of like, it's a wide range of research that goes on, which makes for a really exciting atmosphere because no two students are doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I could go on about research, but I know we have a very tight time limit. So definitely if you have questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Go ahead, shoot it here. I see. I asked them to, hey guys, send in your questions here, and in like a fraction of seconds, they got like there are like tons of it here. So I'm going through. I'm gonna start going through them. But it's really nice that the university encourages people as students to really like tackle this issues like nowadays issues. This is really important, and this is like one of the things that I like about research is that you ended up sometimes like going through like strong shifts on your career because you find out that you're something else that you have a passion about when you start like doing the whole research. So I'm really like a fan of that. But what I wanted to talk about, Lorena, is actually like the composition of the graduate programs because they're quite different from undergrad programs. And I just wanted for you to like point it out, like what are the options that students will have?
Sure. So basically we have many programs, as mentioned before, 29 doctoral programs, 41 masters with thesis option, 38 with non-thesis option, 16 diplomas, 10 certificates. So quite a variety basically for really something for everybody. And this list, the complete listing of our programs can be found on concordia.ca under graduate programs. Once you select the program of your choice, you can view the overview of the program, the admission requirements, the program options, the application process, the deadlines, our course curriculum, funding opportunities, which we'll touch base on afterwards. The faculty research interests. You'll also have examples of job outcomes. And so for some degrees, no specific background is required. For example, for an MBA program, anyone can pursue an MBA. And the deadlines and the start terms vary by program. So just as a little note. But we do offer both course-based certificates and diplomas, which these are like professional type degrees, which prepare students for careers in specific fields or just also tend to lead to well-paid positions or even career advancement. And these are typically one-year programs. We also have course-based masters, as mentioned, and these are 2 years. These are sort of based on structured course modules, flexible in some cases, and they're very hands-on. And of course, the research-based masters, which have a research component. And they're designed for those who are interested in investigating a field in depth and then perhaps moving on to a PhD. And our PhDs are typically 4 to 5 years.
Nice. Yeah, I wanted to take a break here on our topics, and I want to address some of the questions here, because the whole point of like going live is to be able to help these folks that are sending them here. So I've got one. Let me see. The first one I got here. Okay, so we have just a comment here coming from Ekarika. Saying, I'm a graduate of mechanical engineering, would love to be advised on good master's programs. What can you guys suggest for Ekarika here in terms of mechanical engineering?
So I'll jump in. We have 2 options for her. We have an MEng in mechanical engineering. We also have an MASc in mechanical engineering. So one is course-based and one is thesis-based. For the thesis-based option, it's important to have the right match with the supervisor. So for all of the engineering and computer science programs, students must find a supervisor in addition to the the various documents they have to submit. So that's part of the application process.
Awesome. What else we have here? We have Stacy, interested in molecular biology. We have Bernard here, interested in what is it? Business education or computer science. Idris, interested in MBA. Masters in economics here from Campari. And Sohan, let me put here this one on the screen as well. So she's saying, or he's saying, I want to know some useful information about master in engineering, industrial management, or engineering management. So what can you tell them?
So I think if we get into if students want to get into specifics, it's probably better to set up a meeting with a recruitment officer, and we can send you the link afterwards so we can have a one-to-one if it's really specifically related to one program. I could mention here something that is around, that is useful for every student applying or that would like to apply to Concordia. Essentially, the documents required to apply are the same for all of our programs, and also the admission requirements are similar. What students should know is that the deadlines vary by program. But essentially, to apply, you have to prepare 3 academic letters of reference with academic assessment forms. You also need transcripts from your previous level university level schooling, a CV, a statement of purpose, which varies in length. Some programs that require students to secure a supervisor as part of the application process. So typically these are thesis-based programs. All of our engineering and computer science programs, thesis programs, require students to secure a supervisor. Some don't. So Chris can talk about the ones that don't in JMSB. You also would require an English proficiency language test, and we accept quite a few. For business programs, we have the GMAT or the GRE. And some programs also require a writing sample, for example, a portfolio for fine arts, or even an interview in some cases. So that's it. Okay. In the general sense. But if students are interested in knowing the particularities of each of the programs, we'd all be very happy to schedule a one-on-one.
Perfect. All right, guys, we're gonna put we're gonna share this contact information at the end, so you can get it, so you can schedule this one-on-one. Just one quick thing that Agustin is asking, if you guys offer programs in agriculture and sustainability as well.
Ayana, do you want to jump in? I mean,
oh, you're muted. 1 second. Yeah, go ahead.
We do have programs in sustainability. There are studies going on with in terms of the effects of climate change, weather, etc., happening, whether it's through our biology department or through our geography department as well. So it really depends on the angle that a student would like to explore these notions.
Cool. All right. And Chris, yeah.
Sorry, I'll just jump in and add that we do have a database at the university called explore.concordia.ca. We'll share the link in a few minutes, where students can actually enter a keyword and obtain a list of faculty members that are associated with that type of research.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. And Chris, there is a question here that I think you could address. I don't know the name of the student here, but saying that I'm interested in mastering management. What does the university's business school prefer, GMAT or GRE? Is there a possibility for a waiver as well?
Apologies if there's an echo. I tried to hook up some headphones, so I hope you can hear me okay. Let me know.
Yep.
So we have the master's, the MSc in management is a research-based degree, whereas the MBA is a course-based degree. There are slight differences, definitely in the purpose of the program, the outcome, and the admission requirements. So you do require for the MBA, you do need to have at least 2 years of work experience. The class average, and it's a competitive program, so it's better to be closer to the class average of about 5 years of work experience. They require the GMAT. There is no waiver for the GMAT. When it comes to the MSc in management, which is a research-based degree in the field of management, we do accept the GMAT as well as the GRE. There are some waivers that we accept, mainly based on academics. So for people with very strong GPAs or cumulative GPAs, we will consider they might be able to request a waiver from the graduate program director. So that is really the best way, is get in touch with me. As Lorena was saying, it's really important to connect with the recruiter and really find out the details of a program that we can only present so much on the website. In fact, the website is just meant to be a calling card. We really want you to reach out to us and to find out those hot tips about the application, about the admission requirements, and yeah. So yeah, if a lot of people ask for the GMAT waiver, no one wants to do the GMAT, but it is an important exam, especially for business school. We have a lot of students coming from many different disciplines, which makes the program great. However, the GMAT is kind of it levels the playing field a little bit. For law school, you have the LSAT. For business school, you have the GMAT. So it is quite important. But if you're a very strong student and you're interested in the research-based programs like the MSc Management, then feel free to get in touch with me, and we can see whether you might be eligible to request a waiver.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm loving how diverse the interests are here from our audience. But guys, I wanted to jump in, and by the way, Augustine, who asked about the agriculture, is thanking for the reply. But I wanted to skip the next topic, actually, which is we were supposed to talk about the campus. We're going to get to that. But I actually want to explore here a comment that Pietra shared here, which is about the support that the university gives students, right? Because although I think she's referring to the support throughout the application process, which I'm assuming the answer will be yes, you will be supported throughout that. But Lorena here will be able to better explain. But I wanted to get this opening that Pietra has given us to talk a little bit about all the support that the university provides students, not only during the application process, but here as well, as I wrote down here, with access to free academic professional development programs, because this was something that I found that was very interesting. And I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to share that with the students that are watching us here.
Oh, hi. Yeah, so basically, Concordia is known for a very hands-on type of institution and university, because we offer such programs as the Grad Pro Skills, and this is apart from the International Students Office and all of the other typical support at the university, which are very strong at Concordia, and especially our grad team is super happy to be supporting our grad students if they have any questions along the way regarding their application, or they're stuck somewhere, or whatever it is, we're happy to help. So so the fact that you have our names today, latch onto them and just contact us if you have questions. So I wanted to talk about and highlight the Grad Pro Skills program, which is Concordia's graduate and professional skills, because they offer roughly around 350 free workshops in 8 different skill domains. And these are designed specifically for graduate students at the university. So undergrad students are not eligible to apply to these. And these are, by the way, are all free. So they provide different types of training and on the professional skills or even the soft skills that employers are looking for. So even, for example, for things like preparing for a job interview. So some of our programs have internship opportunities. So students can take this workshop on how to write a competitive CV or how to prepare for an interview. Because in order to go to do an internship, you will need to pass an interview with your employers. And since we're the largest, second largest French-speaking city next to Paris, we also offer French workshops, French conversation workshops for free. So why not take advantage of these free workshops and take as many as you want? And also, it'll help you integrate into Quebec's society. It'll give you a competitive edge in the workforce. So as you probably know, students who do a 2-year program can also stay and work in Canada for an additional 2 years. And if you want to live and work in Quebec, so learning French can simply accelerate the process of obtaining your Certificat de Sélection du Québec, CSQ. And many professional orders in Canada require their members to know French. So that would be an added value. And you can add all of these workshops to your co-curricular record so that your employers can have a look and say, wow, look how many workshops they've taken on the side. So that is definitely an added value.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are workshops that will help them in the next steps, right after like their graduate. So super interesting. I want to get Chris. I just wanted to, because maybe I missed that as well, but Lilia is sending a question here. The new program that Chris mentioned, analytics, is not in the website. Could you please mention more about it? What can you say to Lilia?
I can say that we're working on it. We're working on launching it at the end of the summer. We're getting the website together, all the content. So likely by September. So I know the program name. I know the general field. But yeah, all those promotional materials, the website, the brochure, that's going to be in September. Which will give you a year to. That's when the application window opens usually, and Lorena, I think this might be for all programs where it's usually 12 months before the intake term. So yeah, so we'll be launching the program for a start next September, so fall 2022. Yes, and so yeah, so sorry we don't have information right now, but if you want, just get in touch with me, and I can put you on the list of people who are interested in finding out more. And as soon as we get that link to the website, I can send that to you. So definitely get in touch with me.
Cool. Did you see how engaged they, like how quick they are? You mentioned that she went already there on the website. It's not there.
It's really important to choose the right field in at the master's level, right? And to understand what all these programs are, because maybe I'll send you the website information, and you'll see, well, and hopefully you'll speak to me about it, and you'll say, well, maybe it's actually not exactly the right program for me. So good that people are engaged. And also just touching on what Lorena was saying as well, just in terms of the resources available. As you can imagine, at a university, there's so many things going on. There's so many clubs and associations and career services and workshops and all this stuff. So we actually look for, we provide these resources, but we're looking for those engaged students who will take advantage of the resource. At this stage, you really got to be a go-getter, and you got to find all those things that you need to develop the skills you already have, but also to work on the weaknesses that you might need to improve on. So there's so many things outside of the classroom to get involved with. There's work opportunities, there's all these workshops and things like that. So it's really your chance, and there's a lot of flexibility, there's a lot of room to grow. And one last thing I'll say is that the graduate programs tend to be a lot smaller than the undergraduate programs in terms of the amount of students in your program. So there is a little bit more attention that can be given on each student in terms of the approachability of not only the professors, of course, but the program directors, and they're really key resources to go to and say, this is my plan, or this is what I want to do. How do I get there? Or can you give me any advice? Can you point me in the right direction? Networking is key in Canada and North America and many other places. But so academic networking is as important while you're in school as professional networking while you're also in school and getting ready to graduate and go into the job market.
Cool. All right. And Chris, by the way, so we have someone else. Okay, so the person that asked about the GMAT, I think, so her name is actually Vivian. And she has another question for you, because she's saying that she's also checked the website. So hello, Vivian. Here, my question is for Chris. From your website, allowances are made for non-commercial students for the MSc in management. What are my chances of admission with a law background? What can you tell Vivian, Chris?
Hi, Vivian. Yeah, that's a good question. As I mentioned before, as a business school, we get, of course, many applicants from, for example, a Bachelor of Commerce or a commerce background. But we also get students and applicants from many diversity of backgrounds, and we prize that. So for those applicants who don't have a business background or a commerce background, don't consider that a hindrance, because what we do is, for our programs, for all graduate programs at Concordia University, we'll take a holistic approach. We like to say a holistic approach to the admissions process. We're going to look at all aspects of your application. So we're going to look at your grades. We're going to look at the GMAT or the GRE score. We're going to look at your letters of reference. We're going to look at your statement of purpose. That's a really important one in terms of marketing yourself and putting all the pieces of your application together and telling us why the program is right for you, why you're right for the program, all these things that will help you convince the admission committee that you're the right student for these highly selective programs. So one thing that can happen if you don't have any business background, sometimes you'll be asked to take some supplementary courses, and these can either be done before the regular program courses or at the same time concurrently with the other program courses. So you may have to take some additional courses to provide those foundations, those business foundations, whether they're statistical or whatnot. So there's no real way of predicting what courses you should take in advance if you're trying to do that. Because really it depends on your profile and what the admissions committee deems that maybe you need a bit of help with before embarking on this graduate level business program.
Awesome. Alrighty, thank you. And so just guys, just as you see what Vivian did here is exactly what I'm always like pushing you to do, because do send the question that are exactly about your situation here. Because if we can, and if our guests can, they will address it specifically for you. Because general things, we can address those things. Oh, if you offer programs and this and that, but those are the kind of information that you can easily find on the website here. The goal of this, like the full potential of this opportunity here, is to really explain to us what your scenario is, what your situation is, and if we can help, we will, with the information that you're really looking for, just what Vivian asked here to Chris. But before we move on to the next topic, I want to give the Ayana here the chance to add as well to what Lorena has said previous. Ayana, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, because Lorena had mentioned some of the Grad Pro Skills courses or workshops that are offered, and obviously there's 300, so she didn't name all of them. And this might answer some of the questions that I'm seeing popping up on the side too. This summer, because things were online, I thought it was really, really interesting that Grad Pro Skills is offering actually our grad pro skills workshop for graduate research scholarship application preparation, even for students who have not yet applied, but their intention is to apply, because oftentimes the date to apply for these either federal or provincial scholarships is before they've even started their graduate studies. So yes, we do have internal scholarships where students just by applying to the university and applying to a program can be considered for our internal scholarships. There's merit awards, there's international tuition waivers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of different options, but there's also external ones. And our grad pro skills is offering these free workshops. And this summer, because of the situation, obviously, they're offering them online for free, like Lorena said. But that's something that Concordia does to support not just our students, but also even future students. So I just wanted to add that.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah. So Chris, I want to get back to you to talk now about like the post-study opportunities, right? Because as it came up already by one of our users here, some of them like wants to remain in Canada and acquire like a professional experience, work for a company or whatever. So can you like share a little bit about like what are the possibilities for the future graduate students from Concordia?
Yes. Well, there are, as I think was mentioned, for international students, they can have a post-graduation work permit. I know that for some of our 2-year programs, that post-graduation work permit can be up to 3 years long. So you can, and this is for Canada, Canada-wide. So that's a possibility for international students. And that's where the importance of internships is, especially for international students, but also for those students who may not have much work experience, if at all. Internships are really important to not only put into practice what you're learning in the classroom, but also to start developing your professional network. And again, I'll mention networking a lot because it's really important to get yourself out there, to meet people, and to have them on your radar, on their radar when they hear of positions that are opening up. But yeah, so there's a lot of opportunities to develop your skills, and then there's opportunities for international students, especially to stay in Canada if they choose to do so, to develop their career after they've graduated. One thing as well for international students is that you can work up to 20 hours per week. You have to study full-time as an international student, but you can work up to 20 hours per week. You might not have a social life, but you can do that in order to help to finance your studies. Again, mentioning a lot of career resources, not only grad pro skills workshops, but also career centers that are going to be very key to building that network, to working your interview skills or your marketability and all that kind of stuff. So it's really important to take advantage of that while in school. Now, in terms of prospects, a lot of people ask me, what are the prospects of me getting a job after that? Ultimately, I mean, you're going to be learning a lot through our graduate programs. You're going to be developing a specialization and an expertise. But ultimately, it's a diploma. It's a piece of paper that you've got to use as part of your narrative, as part of your story, part of your trajectory of where you want to go. So it's a lot about how all the elements of your profile, how you're able to convince an employer that you're right for that particular job. So you want to develop all these skills that you can, like I said, use school to work out to fail, not fail your classes, but fail and learn from the failure within class or within school instead of on the job. So it's a good place to experiment. And yeah, so there are many opportunities in Montreal, of course, second largest city in Canada. As Lorena mentioned, Montreal and Quebec is a French province. Montreal is, I think, a third English. So it's possible to work in Montreal if you don't know French. We always encourage you to take advantage of the opportunity to learn French, and then that opens up greater possibilities, greater career possibilities. But also you can go down the road, down the 401 to Toronto, which is the biggest city, has the biggest financial district, or further afield if you want to go west Vancouver. I know, Carlos, you want to go there. And so yeah, so there's, you know, the we can help you with a lot of resources, but we need you also to be looking out to the kind of jobs that you can qualify for or that you want to aspire to, and what you need to do to get there. So hi. Yeah, so I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, guys. The next topic we're going to approach is the financial things. So let's talk numbers. But before we get into that, and the scholarships as well, tuition costs, average, all that, because I know this is a very important part you all want to know. But I just want to give the chance here for you guys to advise one of our guests here, which is Anna Lou, because she shared her situation as I encourage her, and she's saying that my question is mostly about my chances of being admitted with more practical experience and less research one than the general requirements of the master's. I know some written samples are required, but what I wonder is what I should focus on before applying. And then comes her questions. Should I seek research experience first, even though it's a research creation thesis master's? What can one of the three of you can say to Anna Lou to guide her in this matter?
Do you know what program she's interested in? Is it media studies?
Ooh, maybe you mentioned Anna Lou. If you can put it here on the chat as well, it will be great. Yeah, because I don't know. Maybe our team in the backstage can look for the area that she mentioned here as well, because we have so many comments here. It's hard to get. But yeah, so let's oh yes, media studies. Yeah, she just said it.
Good guess then. So for media studies, I'll just jump in that we are looking for someone who has a bachelor's degree in communication or a similar area, so a cognate area. Ideally with experience in media or media related field, it's an asset. We don't expect someone to necessarily have, written a book or done extensive research on it. But it would be good if you've had some, because she's mentioned she's done some work in the field, that should be fine. Normally when a student applies, they're indicating what it is that their research interest or where their interest lies in that research field. So there is definitely a possibility without having extensive research. I mean, many students when they're starting, if they've done research, it's at the undergraduate level, so it might be very minimal as well. Having work experience is something that the admission committee will definitely consider. And like Chris said before, it's not just the academics that we're considering. We're considering the entire application process or application package. So we're considering, yes, definitely the academics, but we're also looking at the letter of intent. We're also looking at what the references say. We're also looking at technically your experience, which is one of the reasons that you are uploading a copy of your CV, which is an academic and professional CV. So it's the entire package that we're looking at.
Awesome. Thanks, Ayana, and thanks, Anna Lou, for giving us a chance to support you throughout this process.
Can I add to that, Carlos?
Yep.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that in terms of picking up on what Ayana said about the CV and it being an academic and professional CV, it's really important to, of course, do the research about the program, understand what the program is, and the main purpose of that being, when you apply to the program, you want your application to be tailored to that program. We don't want a generic program that we don't know how it relates to that specific program, your specific objectives. So yes, tailor your CV to a university and not an employer, but also just in general, tailor your application so that it is to that program. And yeah, I won't say.
Well said. Well said. Thanks for that tip. Absolutely. And this is the kind of information I like to share here, guys, because it's the kind of thing that you cannot easily find on websites and things. It's a different kind of information. So really grateful for the three of you to be sharing this. But now let's talk numbers, right, Lorena? Let's talk numbers, because I want to approach now the finances aspect. So let's talk the tuition cost, the average. I know that it depends a lot, but whatever you can give in terms of information to everybody that is watching us here, in terms of how much does how much does it cost on average, the graduate programs at Concordia, and then after that we will get to the what ways students can have to help them finance this. So scholarships, funding. Anyway, so the floor is yours.
Perfect. So essentially, Quebec's tuition fees are actually amongst the lowest in Canada. And so master's program, I'm going to use the master's as an example. For example, they range between 32,600 and 46,600 Canadian dollars. The tuition fees are not all payable at once. These are spread out over a number of terms. It's very complicated how they spread it out, but anyhow, you can have a look on our website. And also, cost of living is amongst the lowest in Canada, especially when you compare to other big cities across Canada. So we estimate that cost of living is roughly between 14 and 19,000 yearly. And of course, this depends on your lifestyle. And we have a budget calculator as well on our website, which you can have a look at. And because we believe that student success is our success, this is why we automatically consider all students for graduate awards when they apply. So there is no separate application. There is for external funding, which Ayana mentioned before. And I believe we will provide this information later on in the chat. So, if you provided that you meet the eligibility criteria, which is mostly based on scholarly merit, students are automatically considered. And this applies mostly to thesis-based programs. Now, I'll mention this, but Chris keeps mentioning networking, and it is very important also when it comes to scholarships. You have to be very resourceful, and all of the scholarships that I will mention are applied to research-based programs, so programs with a thesis option, and all of our PhD programs. So these are offered at the time of admission to allow students to focus on their research and studies. And funding is comprised of many factors. So bear with me, but basically this is how it works. The School of Graduate Studies administers funds. The faculties administer their own funds. Departments may have their own funds. Students may also receive funds from supervisors' research grants. And also most scholarships are topped up by teaching assistantships and research assistantship opportunities. And so the overall funding package becomes quite interesting. You'll often hear that it's between this amount and this amount, but it varies so much that I'd rather not even say that, because it really varies by faculty, by program, by department. But international students are considered for the fee waiver, the Concordia Fellowship, the Concordia Merits, regardless of the country where you're applying from. And some faculties offer minimum funding to their students. For example, the Gina Cody School of Engineering and Computer Science has minimum funding for their doctoral students. And in addition to the entrance scholarships, which I've just mentioned, there are also what we call in-course scholarships. So the faculty circulate a call for applications so that students can apply to these scholarships throughout the course of their program. And these usually come from donors. So they vary by year, they vary by term, they vary enormously. And also newly admitted students coming in with provincial and federal monies also get awarded special entrance awards valued at $6,000 for masters and $10,000 for doctoral students. So the external funding coordinator, his name is Michael Verway. You can always reach out to him to attend one of his workshops through the Grad Pro Skills. And he can give you tips on how to apply for those external grants. And also, as mentioned, apart from those scholarships, students can benefit from working the 20 hours a week. during their studies, and then full-time once they complete their studies. So that's it in a nutshell. I hope I didn't confuse anyone, but there are many opportunities for funding, and students just need to be resourceful. And if you are unsure if your program has a scholarship or doesn't have one, just check in with us.
Just to add to that, Lorena, yes, indeed, there's a lot of variability, and there's a lot of details. So yeah, it really does depend. But to add to the whole funding your studies, there are paid positions for teaching assistants and research assistants as well.
Yep.
And as well, I think you mentioned some external funding for both research and training programs and the like. So yeah, it is a lot about finding what's out there and doing your homework.
And by the way, those are available to any field of studies. The external ones, students can apply to, and everyone will be considered, depending on the type of research.
And and also, Carlos, just to add to what you said about Montreal being an affordable city, and I'm sure the others mentioned that too, is just it is very affordable in terms of rent and cost of living, and so that's probably one of the reasons why it is ranked consistently in the top student cities. There are many universities. There's 4 big universities here in terms of us, and McGill and Université de Montréal and Université de Québec à Montréal, and they have different schools as well. So there's a lot of students in the city, which makes it a great student city. But yeah, cost of living is great, so a lot of our students are able to not worry too much about their finances and focus more on their studies.
Awesome. Very well. All right, then. So now, guys, let's move over to the very last topic of today, which is to explore, because you know what? I'm not sure if you checked the time already, but we have 4 minutes left. It passes by so quickly. But yeah, so now by the way, I'm going to ask my team here that while we're talking about living in Montreal, because again, you're not going to be spending 24 hours a day at those beautiful campus of Concordia University. You will be exploring the city as well. So I want to give you guys a chance to talk a little bit about what you like the most about living in Montreal, because again, we mentioned that the city has been ranked the 2nd happiest city in the world. It has been elected like the best student destination in the whole world. So my question and I'll give each of you the chances to quickly tell this, is what makes, in your opinion, Montreal so special? Maybe we can start this one with you, Ayana.
Sure. Okay, it sounds very cheesy to say, but there is a joie de vivre to living in Montreal. There's a vibe to the city. There's an energy. It really is dynamic, and you can feel the pulse of the city. The other thing that I really love about Montreal, it is a big city, and yet it's a small big city. You can bump into some of the same people. You get to know like your areas, and all of the areas can be very distinct and have their own personalities, if you will, which kind of makes for a great environment, because you can explore different cities or different vibes in different areas in the city and feel like you're going to different places. Chris touched upon it before, that it really is a multicultural city. There are so many different languages and dialects spoken in Montreal. It makes for that exciting and dynamic feel. But I'll say my number one ultimate, because I am a foodie, is you can literally visit the world in Montreal by going to different restaurants. And I've done it with some of my friends, where we started with a country name, like we'd choose a country randomly, and we would find a restaurant that was linked to that country, which was kind of fun. So you want to go to Tunisia tonight? No problem. You want to go to Eritrea? You can do that too. You want to go to Brazil? You want to go to Portugal? They're all possible, which is fun.
Awesome. And now over to you, Lorena. What makes, in your opinion, Montreal so special and such a great place for students?
Well, I totally agree with Ayana. I'm a foodie, so I really enjoy Montreal's restaurants. But we also have a lot of festivals. I mean, maybe not these days with COVID, but we have quite a few festivals that we're known for. So there's the Just for Laughs, there's the Fantasia Film Festival, the fireworks competition. We also have Montreal Pride Parade, music festivals, Il Scenic, Osheaga, the Jazz Festival, Igloo Fest in the winter. We have Montreal Nuit Blanche. We have anyway, we like it never ends. And so there's always something to do, and we have great outdoor markets, a lot of bike paths, and it's very walkable in Montreal. So I don't know if that sums it up. We're also very close in distance from, like, let's say, the US cities like Boston and New York City. So on the weekends, students, you can go, and take a 5-6 hour drive and end up in New York City. Why not? So you'll never run out of things to do. And that's all while eating poutine and bagels and all of that yummy maple syrup.
Oh boy. Yes, I see a question here coming from Sohan regarding the contact information, the 101 meetings that they mentioned here. We're going to put it right after Chris shares with us what makes Montreal so special. Chris.
Hi. Yeah, what's the word? I agree with all the suggestions that have been said. I do particularly enjoy the vibrant cultural aspect of Montreal. Not only its languages and diversity, but also it has a big cultural scene. It is very much a European style city in North America, which makes it very interesting. And yeah, food, of course, bagels and all that. Yes. And I think one thing that wasn't said, it's a big city, but it's not too big. It's very walkable, very navigable, and it's very safe. It's a really safe city, and yeah, so it's just I don't know. There is a certain neighborly feeling, regardless of the neighborhood you're in. And yeah, love the biking, the world-class public transport network, and there's a mountain right in the middle of the city. Not a huge mountain, but it's a big mountain, and so there's a lot of nature. And yeah, it's not a very dense city. So yeah, it's yeah, I'm biased because I'm from here, but I've been to a lot of places, and it is a great place to enjoy yourself and to build a life.
Awesome. All right. Thanks a lot, Chris. Thanks, Yana and everybody. Now let's talk about the contact information. So here, let's put it here on the screen as well. So Lorena, can you explain this link that we're going to be sharing now on the chat here with students for the 101s for the Connect with a Graduate Recruiter? What do they need to do exactly?
Essentially, they would just select one of our graduate recruiters, somebody on our team. We're super happy to answer questions and clarify things that they may not, that is not clear on our website, or whatever questions they may have. We're even just here to talk about Montreal or housing or anything. And so they can make a one-on-one appointment with any of us. We all have our schedules up. All they need to do is put in their name, their email, and they can select a date and time, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Yeah, so guys, we just put it here on the chat. Graduate Recruiters, it's the link. If you click there, so make sure that you don't lose this. You can copy that link, so you can, after this live, which is in a few minutes, you can already go there and schedule an appointment, so you can ask absolutely everything. All right. Okay.
One more last thing. We also offer information sessions.
Very nice.
We all have group information sessions too, so that makes it easy for students if they don't know what questions to ask. All three of us offer general information sessions from A to Z.
Cool. Awesome. All right, then I still have questions coming, but unfortunately we have reached the end here of this live. So I want to thank our lovely guests of today here, the amazing Chris, Lorena, and Ayana. Thank you so much for joining the Student World Spotlight session today, and we look forward to welcome you again in another session in the near future.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and get in touch with us if you want.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. All right, then, as we send them to the backstage here, I'm back with you folks. Thank you so much for staying with us during the whole time. I see here lots of people are still with us. I found it to be a very informative session today with Concordia. Again, this is a great university located in an amazing city. So please go ahead, click there to schedule the 101 meetings so you can ask everything. Because guys, really, what we talked about it here is like studying abroad is such an amazing experience. I've done it myself multiple times, but it takes some effort, and no one can do it for you. It has to be, if you want to really make it yours, a unique experience, then really go ahead and go for it. So yes, so thank you so much for everybody that joined. Ana Lu, I hope we were able to help you. Sabrina, Maha, Campari, Charles, Gabi, Lilia, thanks for sending your question as well. Alfred, everybody, guys, lovely to have you all here. Thank you so much. And I'll see you in another episode of the Student World Spotlight. By the way, don't forget to give us a like here. It really helps us a lot. And we would really appreciate it. And subscribe to our channel because, as I mentioned, every week we have different lives coming up with different institutions. So our job here, our mission is to help you get there, help you find the right university for you abroad. All right. So yes, so subscribe, like, follow, whatever you do, keep in touch with the student world because we're here really to help you. Okay, so yes, lovely to see you. I'll see you back here in September with season 2 of the Student World Spotlight. Okay, see you guys. Student World, whatever you want to study, we know how to get you there.